A war has been going on between Thailand and Cambodia for 3 days now. In the previous episode, I talked about the reasons for its outbreak. In this episode, we'll discuss how the confrontation between the United States of America and China is involved in this war. After all, in the deadly conflict on the border between Thailand and Cambodia, a longtime ally of the United States with many years of experience is opposing relatively young armed forces that have close ties with China. Both in Washington and in Beijing, they recognize that this war will show who is more worth befriending and cooperating with in this region, the United States or still China. My name is Alex Ipeci. Today is July 26th. In this episode, we'll look at how the United States and China are influencing this conflict, compare the armies of the two countries, and try to figure out what will happen next with this conflict in terms of geopolitics. But before we begin, I ask you to subscribe to this channel, give it a like, leave any comment you want, and be sure to subscribe to my Telegram channel. The video description contains the link. If you want to support the work of this channel, I would be grateful to you for that. You can do this with any donation, absolutely any, on any platform that suits you best. It can be Patreon, PayPal, Buy Me Coffee, sponsorship in cryptocurrency, or a bank transfer. All the details, all the links are in the description of this video or via the QR code on your screens. So let's begin. To put it briefly, the reason for the conflict is that Thailand and Cambodia are fighting over territory that has been disputed ever since the colonial power France drew the border between them more than a century ago. But both sides disagree with this border. According to officials, clashes on both sides are still ongoing. Since the fighting began on Thursday, more than 30 people have reportedly been killed, dozens wounded, and more than 150,000 civilians evacuated. In the last episode, I covered the conflict's causes in depth. Watch it for more information. Now let's take a look at the history and military capabilities of both sides. I'll say right away, the numbers are definitely in Thailand's favor. Thailand's military forces surpass the armed forces of neighboring Cambodia, both in terms of personnel and weaponry. The total number of active personnel in Thailand, which is 361,000 people, is distributed across all branches of the kingdom's armed forces, which is 3 times the number of Cambodian military personnel. So Cambodia has approximately 100 to 120,000 personnel, while Thailand has 360,000. And the Thai troops have weapons that their Cambodian counterparts could only dream of. The International Institute for Strategic Studies, in its review of the world's armed forces called Military Balance 2025, writes, Thailand has large, well-funded armed forces, and its air force is one of the best equipped and trained in Southeast Asia. In the 2024 ranking of military potential of 27 countries in the region compiled by the Lowy Institute, Thailand ranks 14th and Cambodia ranks 23rd. Such a difference is probably natural, considering that Thailand's population is 4 times larger than Cambodia's, and Thailand's gross domestic product is more than 10 times higher than Cambodia's. Unlike Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam, these are all neighbors of Thailand. Thailand avoided the devastating consequences of the wars that swept the region in the second half of the 20th century and the European colonialism that preceded them. So does that mean Thailand was somehow always on the sidelines? Overall, if we take into account factors such as military, economic, diplomatic, and cultural power, as measured by the Asia Power Index, Thailand ranks 10th, being considered a so-called middle power, right behind Indonesia, but ahead of countries like Malaysia and Vietnam. But Cambodia in all rankings is classified as a second-tier country in Asia and is put on the same level as countries like Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and Laos. But in fact, even this is not the main thing. The main thing is which country cooperates and makes friends with whom. And here is where the background of this conflict is revealed. Thailand has very strong ties with the United States of America, and its global prospects are much better than Cambodia's much better. The armed forces of Thailand have long played a crucial role in the politics of the kingdom. For many years, the country has been dominated by a conservative establishment that includes the military, the monarchy, and an influential elite. The history here is interesting. Since 1932, generals have seized power in 20 coups, often overthrowing Thailand's democratic governments, and the military positions itself as the main defender of the monarchy. Now, the most crucial and fascinating part. According to the United States Department of State, Thailand is a treaty ally of the United States, a status that dates back to the signing of the Southeast Asia Collective Defense Treaty in 1954, also known as the Manila Pact. A military pact has been signed between the United States and Thailand. During the Vietnam War, United States Air Force personnel and equipment, including B-52 bombers, were stationed at several air bases in Thailand, and tens of thousands of Thai military personnel fought on the side of United States, backed South Vietnam against the Communist North. Since then, strong ties between Washington and Bangkok have remained. Thailand is considered one of the most important United States allies outside of NATO, which gives it a special advantage, allowing it to receive long-term United States support for its arms programs. Where simply put, the United States supplies Thailand with all the necessary weapons or finances their purchases. Thailand and the United States Indo-Pacific Command jointly conduct annual military exercises called Cobra Gold, which began in 1982. And according to the United States military, this is the longest-running international military exercise in the world. Since 1982, they haven't missed a single year. According to the United States State Department, in addition to Cobra Gold, the armed forces of Thailand and the United States conduct more than 60 other joint military exercises. And every year, more than 900 United States aircraft and 40 United States Navy ships visit Thailand. But who do you think is behind Cambodia? That's right, it's China. Cambodia's most important international defense ties are with China and Vietnam. And in the past, Cambodia relied heavily on supplies of Russian weapons. But in recent years, China has almost completely pushed the Russians out of Cambodia, and now Beijing is the key supplier of weapons to the Cambodian army. Moreover, Beijing has even established a naval base in Cambodia, and according to international analysts, the Ream naval base in the Gulf of Siam will be able to accommodate Chinese aircraft carriers. Well, now for the most interesting part. In May, during the month of May, Cambodia and China completed the 7th annual Golden Dragon joint military exercises, which were declared the largest in history. The training scenarios incorporated live-fire exercises. And why do I say that this is the most interesting thing? It was in May, right after the exercises ended, that tensions between Thailand and Cambodia began to escalate, which has now turned into a war. I discussed this thoroughly in my last video. Now let's compare the armies of both countries. According to the International Institute for Strategic Studies, the Royal Thai Air Force, thanks to many years of support from the United States of America, is well equipped and has at least 11 modern Swedish Gripen fighter jets and dozens of older American F-16 and F-5 aircraft, F-16 and F-5. Cambodia currently does not have any combat-capable air force. On land, Thailand has dozens of battle tanks, including 60 modern Chinese VT, 4 tanks, and hundreds of old American-made tanks. Yes, Thailand has also bought Chinese weapons, by the way, in recent years. According to the data, Cambodia has about 200 old tanks of Chinese and Soviet manufacture. Let's move on. The Thai army officially has more than 600 artillery pieces, including at least 56 powerful 155mm guns and more than 550 towed 105mm guns. Cambodia has only about 10 155mm guns and around 400 smaller towed guns. The Thai army also has American Cobra attack helicopters, as well as 18 American transport helicopters. Cambodia has only a few dozen old Soviet and Chinese transport helicopters. So, as you can see, the numbers are clearly not in Cambodia's favor. Here they are clearly in favor of Thailand. On the other hand, experts say that it's much easier for Cambodian troops to fight a ground war because of the terrain, while Thailand will rely on air attacks. But nevertheless, as you understand, there are two powerful powers behind both sides, and obviously both are watching the outcome of this conflict. And how it ends will matter a lot, by the way, for the security architecture in Asia. I'll leave it at that. Share your opinion, your additions, maybe your conclusions in the comments below this episode. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and don't forget to like. That's all for now. Take care, everyone. Goodbye. Subtitles created by